Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CSGO Clutch Podcast, sponsored by Prize Picks. My name is Adam Cohn. I am your host, joined by my co-host, Dan Welch. Dan, what is happening, buddy?
Oh, Adam, it's another wonderful day in the land of me,
In the land of you.
and it was a good day. Like all around, I had a really good day.
Can we take a few minutes and address the land of you thing? Is this like some mythical place like Narnia that everyone should go try and adventure to at some point in their life? Do you have a statue somewhere in some courtyard somewhere that we all should be taking and, going and taking selfies with? Come on.
I'm
Land
dying
of
right now.
you.
I'm dying right now because you mentioned my statue, and
You have a statue? I was kidding. All right.
all
Well,
right, no, I don't have a
all right,
statue.
folks.
Let's,
We're gonna get into. We'll talk about that later off stream.
yep,
I want my statue. I'm kidding. I think we need to address the Favin-sized elephant in the room.
yes,
Wow,
yes.
what a performance!
If I could swear on our YouTube, I would because I am not happy about it.
I mean, look, I'm happy for Favin. If
Yes,
you've been playing Counter Strike DFS for a while, and you remember what it was like trying to play D-Hop, Favin, and Snatchy, and trying to pick one of the three that you think was going to go off, Favin isn't without talent, and he showed it today. He is the ace of that squad, and
yeah.
it's his team, and he took the team on his back. I didn't watch any of the game, but following the stats, he was clearly head and shoulders above the rest.
It was so frustrating. Like literally, because I had snacks and literally, like they just couldn't do anything, and it was all Favin. I mean, slacks as well, but it was mostly
Look,
Favin on
Slacks, I'm
everything.
so happy he got called up to Sprout, because
Yeah,
when we were playing those slates when he was on alternate attacks, and we were playing him and Cressy and the rest of them, it's like you jammed in Slacks every single chance that you could when he was on the slate.
yeah.
And I mean, don't he's become like Farley in a way.
Ooh,
And we'll get to Farley in a minute. But he's become like Farley in a way. He's taking some time. He has to adapt to Tier 1 Counter Strike.
hmm.
And I not Tier 1, like even Tier 2. Is he's going from the Tier 3 squad to Tier 2. It's very different. I mean, you're getting against better and better competitions.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm happy for Slacks. He's super talented. We saw Cressy do well today. Um, I think this slate is somewhat straightforward. I think you could take a major stand against a major favorite, and I wouldn't fault you for it. I think you could take a couple of stands on this slate. I think there are two teams you kind of sort of just want to lock in. You could make an argument for one you're locking in. It's complexity, but we'll get there in a minute. First stand, as always, we're going to review our previous day's winning lineup. But before we do that, I'd like to remind everyone, check out our new Twitter account. Follow us on Twitter at CSGO Clutch Pod. We'll have all things podcast related on there. We're posting our links to it, to the podcast, and any other stuff that's pertinent to the podcast, for taking a day off or something, solo pods, or whatever. We're going to have some fun stuff planned for the Twitter account. And yeah, follow us at CSGO Clutch Pod. The actual spelling and everything else is going to be in the description below this video. And you can follow Dan on Twitter at Wandelch, Wandelch, and you can follow me on Twitter at AdamWX21. And Prize Picks, the fine folks over at Prize Picks are the sponsor for this show. Sign up using the promo code CLUTCH. Again, that's promo code CLUTCH. New depositors get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. And even if you don't want to deposit and you just want to use the promo code, that helps us out greatly as well. Whew! I guess last thing I
There
should
you go.
mention, folks. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. It really helps us out for the YouTube algorithm. We want to grow this podcast. We want to grow Counter-Strike DFS as much as we can. And if we can help people learn and we can help them, get into Counter-Strike. Like, I got into playing Counter-Strike purely because of CSGO DFS and StevieT PFL's content back, I think it was like April 2020 when RotoGrinders started offering it. And I've been a fan of Stevie for years. I've been a subscriber to his NASCAR package for years. Free plugs for my boy Stevie. Um, But like that's how I got involved in actually playing the game, and I love playing the game. It's
Hmm.
so much fun, and like you can just when you get into the strategy and everything else, and like we love Dan and I love doing these podcasts. I know we haven't been doing them for long, but we've been doing them now for a few months, and we love doing this. And we hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. You guys and gals are enjoying the podcast out there, and you know, leave a comment down below. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, who you all are on for this upcoming slate, and we'd love to hear from you. Again, reach out to us on Twitter. You can leave a comment down below and hit that like button and the subscribe button as well. Big shout out. We have 42 subscribers. Very exciting for Dan and I. So thank you, subs. And if you're not subbing now, it's free. It's free. Just do the clicky things. Do the clicky things. It helps out for the YouTube algorithm. And let's see if we can get those likes up to. I feel like I'm watching an Awesemo stream when I say this, but let's see if we can get those likes up to 15 likes for this video. We know we average a decent amount of people watching this. Let's see if we can get those likes up to 15 for this video. And I'll try not taking Awesemo stuff. But I feel like that's kind of sort of what we hear, like Lofty saying during like the Awesemo YouTube stuff. And I enjoy listening to some of their content as well. So, you know, definitely hit that like button. Like I said, it helps us out with the YouTube algorithm and getting this podcast in front of more people's eyes. Okay, I'm done plugging everything.
Well done, Adam. Well done.
I appreciate it. Oh, one last thing to plug. Hit that notification bell. That way, every single time we drop one of these podcasts, you all are notified of it as well. All right. Dan, the floor is yours. The floor is
Oh, where
yours.
do we start?
Recap. Your boy
Oh,
leading the winning lineup.
I
You
know.
do the
I love it.
recap, sir. Because your boy's the winning captain that you called yesterday on the podcast. I played him because of your analysis yesterday, but I had no intention of playing him. I didn't want to play him. I'm like, I don't want him in my lineup. Talk to us about it because Captain Farley was the winner today at 1.9% ownership.
It was purely a gut call, and I feel like I've been on Farlig for so long, like it was just inevitable. That's one way you could look at it. But I mean, I just had faith that it was going to happen, and I think it's finally happening where we get those consistent performances from him. I
I
don't know
hope
if you got
so.
to see the 1v4 clutch, but it was brilliant, and he had a 1v2 that was pretty good too.
I mean,
Um,
look at the. Let's just look at the stat line. 39 frags, 6 assists, 24 deaths, 3 first kills, 1v2 clutch, a 1v4 clutch, a 4K, 117 Draftkings points on the captain spot. Now, was he the highest overall scorer on the slate? No. Like I said, that was the Favin elephant in the room.
Most
Um,
value though for the captain is clearly
yes,
Farley.
I would definitely say most value, and that allowed you to unlock a lot of the other high-priced people on the slate. I mean, Dan, if I were to tell you that 3 FPX were the key to the slate, I mean, I kind of think you and I would have been like, sure, for an MME, we might have considered it. But I think we were definitely on board with saying we want 2 of them. But Captain Farley with Stiko and Zen were the ones to go with. And again, this is what Stiko does, folks. And if you just look at his performances, up and down, up and down, up and down. He is a boom bust player, and this had one of his better performances. 41 8 21 with the 1v4 clutch and a 4K. 85 DK points. Crushed it. Zen,
Hmm.
70.5 DK points. I mean, like, Dan, FPX crushed complexity.
It wasn't even close. 48 RNP, by the way. That's absurd.
I don't know if,
Map is 30.
yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if you and I were talking about this off air yesterday, or we were talking about it on the podcast. FPX is one elite player away. One elite player away from winning multiple titles.
I almost think that we might be selling. I mean, complexity is kind of having trouble, but um, I almost think that we're underestimating them a little bit. Like you can just,
Excuse me.
I can just sense that they work hard and they're serious, and Seiko's very serious about this and wants to win. And I think,
Oh,
as you know as well as I do, that is a good recipe for Counter Strike because these guys are all talented. They just need to want it.
none of them are elite. I'm sorry.
Right, but I don't. I think that desire can trump talent or pure
I
skill.
would agree with that, but like, let's take a look, for example, at the teams that came out of nowhere during this online era. To find success, became a world number one or won an event. Big,
Like,
okay? So,
so,
Big being one of them. Who is the elite one on that team? I don't know if you'd
uh,
say there's a quote unquote elite player, like a top 10, but you had Searson, who was in elite form last year.
mhm,
Xantaris was going nuts. And
mhm,
Tabson's a great IGL and can frag his butt off. When you have those three are playing at a great level, those three playing at a great level, big or dangerous.
mhm.
Okay? Complexity. Blame F is elite. Config has shown he can be elite. Alright? And now you add JKS to the roster. That team should be playing better than they are.
Should.
Um, who else? Heroic. Probably the biggest example of any team last year to come in and dominate from nowhere. Stown was the elite player. It was his
He
team.
stumbled a little bit.
It,
I
but
wouldn't say that they just kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, they
well,
did stumble.
they came from tier two into the tier one scene by taking second in the DreamHack Open in August and winning ESL One Cologne 2020.
Which is amazing, by the
That
way.
that was such a fun ride with them. Like that was such a fun tournament.
I can still picture the Nico ace on Mirage in my mind and just how crazy that was.
um, and we all know that now the legendary ESO Pro League Season 13 KD in 1v4 clutch with a P250.
Yep.
He never even used the P250.
No, that's right. That's right.
But like, so they're another one. And like, we'll be spending time on this. Like, we have a 4-game slate we have to get into. But like, if these guys all just get to a level of great, they could win an event. I think they're an elite player away though from being a legitimate, consistent, event type winning talent.
So here's my problem with that though: is that who would you? I mean, who would you swap out?
Emmy, that's the easiest.
Yeah.
Um, I really hate to say this
No,
of
don't say it.
of anybody. If you, I mean, Emmy's obviously the IGL, so if you're not getting an elite IGL back, Madden's replaceable. Madden is very good. He's very consistent. Consistent is not going to win you a tournament or an event. You need elite breaking, I'm taking this team on my back performance. Now, again, if you take a look at Heroic from last year, Stown was the elite. He was the ace of the team. When they added Nico and Tessus, that helped him and helped Cadian. And then you saw Cadian starting to become better as a fragger rather than just IGLing. And then the last one, obviously, is Gambit. Well, we all know who the elite player on that team is. It's Shiro. And then you had a great partner in Axile. Then they add in Hobbit, who was great. And you had their amazing run. So, like, you see a recipe with some of these teams. Big was the only one that didn't have that quote-unquote elite talent, but you could have called Sears the top 5 opera in the world last year with the way he was playing.
Oh hell yeah!
So, like, again, I just think they're one elite level player away from becoming a consistent threat to win multiple events. And I mean, FPX, when they wanted to come back into the Counter-Strike team, this is the roster they targeted.
Okay, I just need to speak my mind real quick because I feel like you're trying to like not let me become a fanboy of
Oh
FPX, right?
no,
Is that what's
please,
going on?
oh no, please become a fanboy. I am just saying that, in my opinion, to have them get to that event-winning level, they need an elite player, or at least Farley, Stiko, Madden, and Zen all need to be playing at a great level, the same way we saw Big did. Is it possible? Yes. Can it be done? Absolutely. They crushed complexity. who should be on paper a top 10 team. I want, like, we need to get you an FPX jersey. We need to get you an FPX shirt. We need to get you an FPX hat. We might need to get you an FPX bow tie. We need to get you FPX swag. FPX out there, if you're listening, get this man some swag.
Yes, please. I would love
And
it.
while we're at it, heroic, can we restock the shop, please, so I can get some heroic swag? But like, you absolutely should become a fan. This team has the potential to win this event. Do I think they will? No.
But you know the danger, the slippery slope of being a fan, right?
Yes,
With DFS.
I was a Fnatic fan early last year. Yes, I'm well aware. And
So
and Fnatic are still one of my favorite teams. They're my third favorite team in professional Counter Strike. It is very tough to see what they're going through right now. So yes, I completely understand. Look,
no, and this is purely
I
for
have a
yeah.
Fnatic shirt. It is, trust me, I completely understand what it's like to be a Fnatic fan.
No, I mean for like DFS, like for anybody that's newer, like when you become that fan, you can be really biased.
Have you
And
not heard my heroic bias?
yeah,
No,
or
but like,
unbiased. You're like, oh well, I'm too much of a fan. Like I need to get off them, so I'll play the other. It becomes a huge
it does.
nightmare.
Look, I'm very happy for FPX, and this team is showing they are ready to take that next step. If Stico can play more good than bad, then yes, they have a legitimate shot to win some events. I just think it would put them over the top as an elite level player. That's all. I'm not taking anything away from this team. Emmy has been, oddly enough, I think the reason they're doing so well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, didn't they get to the finals of DreamHack in like last December with Emmy?
I mean, I forget, but that when Emmy came onto that Godsent roster to
Just
replace
with
Crystal,
Godsend.
right? Like when he came onto the Godsent roster to replace Crystal, completely looking different team.
Yeah,
100% completely looking different team. Um,
Crystal kind of sucked. Sorry, Crystal.
yeah, I'm not going there. Um, but no, like I mean, but Crystal was the IGL, right? Like sometimes IGLs literally will call strats,
Not do
and they
anything
want to
else.
benefit the rest of the team.
Yeah,
Um,
he was very passive, very passive.
and so IGLs or in-game leaders, folks, have the toughest job in Counter Strike, and no question in my mind, they have the toughest job. Um, I'm part of a team, and I gotta tell you, our IGL busts his butt. Like he's keeping us on our toes. He's calling great strats. They have the toughest job in Counter Strike. Um, but anyway, I'm sorry for FPX, and I'm playing them on this next slate for what it's worth. I think maybe it's Sprout versus FPX, but we'll get there. So Dan, anything else you want to talk about with this winning lineup? I mean, Tessus and Shush, we said were our two favorite heroic players yesterday. And like I said, we didn't call Favin, but Favin, 91 frags. That's
Crazy.
nuts. 91 frags.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. And it
But
was it was just wouldn't stop. Like we were both chatting, like he just needs to chill, and it
Favin,
just would not
chill.
happen.
I I feel like you and I were saying because we were like, Favin, chill. Favin, chill. Stop.
Mm,
He took that team on his back. I'm happy to see it. I mean, we know that the talent level he has. Now, don't get me wrong. That 91 stat line also involved 2 overtimes. So also
right.
take that into account. Like that was 2 overtimes. There's a
Good
one
point.
round not played bonus. So these went. Let's go to results here real quick.
That's a really good point.
16, 13, 22, 19, 19, 16. 2 overtimes involved in this. So a double overtime on Nuke, an overtime involved on Vertigo, and Inferno went 16 to 13. So They went the distance. This is not something typically we see. 91 frags is not something typical you're going to see.
No, no, definitely not.
But he was a great play. It wasn't on him.
I mean, anything over 70 is unusual.
Yeah. So, congrats to Nick the Stick for his solo takedown of $10,000. Great lineup, and I'm happy for FPX. And man, I think we could see a heroic or a Gambit-like run out of this team, and I think they're just warming up.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Like I said, my top 4 favorite teams are Heroic 1, Astralis 2, Fnatic 3, Team Liquid 4. Of those top 4, what's the only one doing well right now? And that's
Forget
Heroic.
which one.
Heroic. Fnatic
Yeah,
looked terrible.
Of course.
Astralis lost device. Team Liquid
Yeah.
got rid of Moses for Adren for reasons I don't quite understand.
So confusing.
Um,
Something must have happened there. Have you found it? Like, have you heard any rumor? Like, what happened?
They had some stuff on HLTV confirm that they were trying to figure out why, and Yanko was trying to give his opinions on it, but that's another story for another time. We are 21 minutes here into the podcast, and we still have to get into this 4-game slate, folks, which we will get into right now. And, you know, Dan and I spent some time talking about, because as much as we are a DFS podcast, we are also a hybrid podcast, so we do like to talk about some just Counter-Strike stuff in general. So, like, talking about FPX and their rise, and, like, Dan and I can see it, like, the run for them looks like it's about to begin. Which is really cool to see, because we're getting back into land soon. You know, these RMRs are the last event that we are going to see Train on. Keep that in mind. When we get to the next events, after Flashpoint, after Epic League, after CS Summit, after Epic League Oceania, Train is out of the competitive map pool. Ancient is replacing Train. And Dan and I might actually do an Ancient walkthrough just to get you all familiar with the map. That's going to be a separate podcast. But I'm really interested to see the pros play that one. I've played some Ancient and competitive, and it is very interesting how you play it. So, let's get into this slate, though, Dan, because, in my opinion, the key to this slate is our first game on the slate, and that's Heroic versus Astralis. Gee, we were just here. Didn't we just see this game? We did. It was just a few weeks ago. Not even a week ago. Let's just head over here to the events, folks. Now I'm going to take you to Flashpoint 3. Let's actually take a look at our bracket. Right, so we just saw Astralis, Heroic, and DreamHack. And what we have here, so our upper bracket final is going to consist of, on Thursday, we're going to see Mouse Sports versus G2, which is going to be awesome. For this upcoming slate, we have a couple of things to go over. We have a 9th to 12th decider bracket. We have the upper final, Fun Plus Phoenix versus Sprout. And the first lower bracket game of Complexity versus Anonymous. We are going to have, as well, Astralis versus Heroic and Nip versus Big. So Astralis Heroic, this is key for both of these teams. Both of these teams, Dan, we want to see in that major come later this year. Both of them currently have the points, but these events are going to change the entire complexion of the rankings. So, Astralis versus Heroic, winner advances to the lower bracket final. Winner of the lower bracket final is going to go on to face the loser of the upper bracket final of Mouse Sports versus G2, who will then go on to this Sunday compete in the grand final where I believe again, we have a 1-map advantage for the upper bracket team. Dan, Heroic versus Astralis. What are you doing with this game, and do you agree with my sentiment that it's the key to the slate?
So that's a tough question, Adam. You know, whether or not this is the key. I'm definitely gonna be playing some Heroic, but I'm gonna go. So I have a little theory where it's kind of a harebrained theory that Hunden, the coach, is behind. Somehow, pulling all the strings and allows for certain players to shine. And I think refresh is now it's now his turn. So I'm gonna be playing some refresh and probably shush and avoiding Tessus and everybody else just because of my little theory. So there you have it. That's my analysis.
So you're gonna play Refresh at 6,600. He's your favorite play on the slate.
And shush.
Interesting. So
That's
so
just.
you think it's the New Boys' Day?
I think it is.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's head back to the last time Heroic and Astralis played each other. We're gonna head over here to the match page, and this team just played each other. So we can go here, and Heroic crushed Astralis back in DreamHack Masters. And like I
Mm.
said, I thought we saw this soon. It was back on May 2nd. Heroic beat Astralis on Nuke 16-6, and they beat Astralis on Inferno 16-6, which I actually think that says a lot considering I don't think Heroic are that good on Inferno. Um, actually, they've been,
Tessus.
huh?
I'm sorry. I was just looking at
Tessus
Tessus's
is,
picture. I didn't.
yeah. So let's take a look at the stats here. Magisk was the only one
Oh,
positive for Astralis. Again, I don't think we see two 16-6s. I just don't.
this was that crazy, crazy Tessus day.
Tessus was plus 31.
Oh
Shoes was
my
plus
god.
20. Refresh was plus 11. Stown was even. Now, this was also, keep in mind, folks, when Stown was still eh. Stown's finally started to come back on, but Stown was still eh back then. So, and Cadian was plus 4. Tessus went bonkers.
Yeah, I remember that day. I did well because of Tessus.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, like your calls on Refresh and Shush, if I get plus 31 out of them, I'm going to be ecstatic on this slate. So, I mean, like, let's head back here to the slate, right? Shush
Dude,
is 6,200. Refresh is 6,600.
I'm playing Tessus.
I
I'm just,
think Tessus is my favorite play so far on the slate. I mean, like, folks, like, again, like, we hit the record button on this podcast pretty much as soon as pricing dropped from DraftKings. So we are looking at the pricing here with you all pretty much for the first time. We took like a brief look over it real quickly before we recorded, but like we're looking at this for a first time, so you're getting our like thoughts at the same time that we're looking at pricing. And one thing, Dan, that sticks out to me, just kicking over to the Astralis side for a second, look how dirt cheap everyone is.
on Strauss. Yeah, they're in
Dupree's
trouble.
7,600. Dupree's been the main opper. He looks like he's transitioning over to the main opper role. Um,
So I'm
Magus,
sorry.
go ahead.
I just don't want to forget this. When I was listening to the match today, I forget his name, but I think his first name is James, like the British guy.
Bardolph.
He was
Bardolph.
Yeah, he was saying how he liked how heroic plays like big stack, meaning like when you're at the poker table, if you have the big stack, you push everybody around so that you can clean up, and that they were doing that against I forgot who they played today. Um, and I think they will continue that, and I've seen them do that before.
They
I
played
don't
by
know if you
Team
remember.
Vitality.
Yeah, Vitality, right. So I don't know if you remember there was one match I think last summer where they were playing tic tac toe during the match, like on a pistol round where it was an eco, and I'm just like, these guys just don't give a shit. Like and they're just like here to I don't just they like winning
I
and
mean, Cadian is making a serious contender for IGL of the year.
yeah, I would agree.
His style of play combined with Hunden's, they like to have fun and a good time. And like, we see how much Cadian gets pumped up. We
Yeah,
see that, right? So like, um, yeah. So, but like, Here's what I mean by the key to the slate. I mean, Tess is my favorite play on the slate. Just like I said, briefly looking over at pricing before this started, but this is a real look at pricing. Looking at the past performances, and like we can go to another. When was the last time? So it's been a while since these two teams met up. The last time was back in 2020. I'm not even going to go ahead and use those stats. I'm going to probably take a little bit more off this game, which is a little lopsided, because all of these were with device, which is going to be completely different. I think Tessus does crush again. I don't know if we see plus 31 out of him. I think we could see plus 10 to 20 at
Yeah,
8,000.
that was ridiculous.
So I
Yeah,
think for me it's Tessus and Cadian.
and refresh. Oh,
I like Cadian second. I understand he's 9,800. I like Cadian second.
hmm.
Shoosh third, refresh fourth, Stown fifth. I need to see it from Stown before I start playing him.
Yeah.
Again, like there were some instances where he was dirt cheap and like we wanted to play him and he went off. Great. I'll take my money and cashier, check please. But here's what I mean by key to the slate. Every member of Astralis is under 8,000. All right, so let me read you how crazy these prices are. Dupree is now pretty much becoming the main opper. We've seen Major Scop, we've seen Glaive op. But Dupree is mainly opping from what it seems like recently that I've seen. He's 7,600. Magisk, 7,200. Bubsky stood out to me immediately, 6,400. Zipix, Zipix is 5,400. And Glaive is 4,600. I know Glaive hasn't been great. There's no reason for him being 4,600. Like, I don't know if the DK algorithm was seriously weighing the last game they played against each other. But if you want to play Astralis, by all means, play Astralis. And if Astralis beat Heroic, you'll probably get him at somewhat lower ownership than you would normally get an Astralis team. And like, Heroic are a minus 254 favorite according to Pinnacle, and Astralis are coming in a plus 203 underdog. Like, Dan, large field GPPs, are you taking shots on Astralis?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's not like it's Anonymous. you
Right,
know,
like
it's
these are the
Astralis.
these are the two elite Danish teams right now.
Right. Yeah, actually, normally it's Astralis is the elite Danish team, and
Not anymore, they're
Heroic
not.
is like, wait,
Like,
no,
no, Heroic have took that mantle in my opinion.
no, yeah, no. I thought like okay, so historically,
Yes, historically for the past 3, almost 4 years, Astralis have been the elite Danish team. They have been the a team to beat really in Counter Strike. They've been the juggernauts. So large field GPPs. You're playing a 3 entry max in a large field GPP. Let's just say you went to 3 lineups. How much
three.
Astralis? Yeah, just say you're playing 3 lineups in this $12 contest.
I might do one with a maybe not a because I can't see them dominating. So if anything, they'll do well in a loss or squeak out some. Maybe with Dupree doing well, or I think Glaive would probably have to do really, or well, Bubsky I guess could also be in the mix.
Bubsky's the one that sticks out.
Yeah,
He's the one that sticks out. And I think
yeah.
Zipix also sticks out at 5,400. I don't mind taking shots on Magus next third. Dupree fourth to me and Glaive fifth to me in that order. Dupree on the op is just, he's still learning it. Like this,
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was the entry fragger prior to this.
I think he was.
That's a huge role change.
Yep.
But still, like it's Astralis. Zonic's still the best coach in Counter Strike. Uh, this team has potential to beat Heroic for sure. These next three, anything else you'll hang out with this game?
No, I'm good.
These next few games, folks, should go pretty quickly, except for this next one. Sprout versus FPX. Favin $6,400. Barley's 9,400. What are we doing with this game?
Well, I think you know my answer.
How dare you
And I
play
don't think.
Sprout against FPX?
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, I'm gonna go. I'm probably gonna. Jeez, I shouldn't say this, but I'm probably gonna captain Stico.
I mean, look. I mean, he has the potential to break a slate,
Yeah, I
and we've
just
seen it. Sprout.
I like the price, and I mean, his. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get Nuke, and his stats on Nuke are just really good. So,
Yeah, I mean, like, put it this way. I think recency bias is going to be on Favin.
I hope so. I really, really hope so.
I think recency bias is going to be all over Sprout.
That would be
I think
awesome.
Sprout have a 40% chance to beat FPX.
You know, Adam, you know what I like. I'm actually considering putting a fair amount of money in tomorrow, just because of that, just because of that one little statement. That the
Bankroll management.
But I feel like this is a really good spot just because of that statement
Look,
that you just
this
made.
is a great slate. It's
Yeah,
another great MME slate. Like the next two games, Nip versus Big and Complexity versus Anonymous. It's Nip and Complexity, right? Like I'm not playing Anonymous. I'm really not playing Big. Nip should crush Big. Complexity should crush Anonymous. I think Sprout have a 40% chance to beat FPX. I think Fabin has a great chance to crush his price tag at 6,400. I think Slacks at 7,200 against Farley, who we've only seen it from one game. I think Slacks has a chance to prove something. I think Cressy's a good play. They're the only ones from Sprout I'm interested in. You can try Dennis, you can try Spiddy. They're not exactly the highest fraggers.
not recommended.
If you want to play FPX, I don't mind taking some shots on captains. Captain Stico actually sounds wonderful. Here's the thing though, Farley and Madden are super expensive.
Hmm.
This isn't a pushover team. Sprout are not pushovers. I don't know if we're going to have the salary to get up to Farley and Madden. Or at the very least, both of them. If I have to prefer one, it's Farley. I also don't mind Madden. If you can get them and like a Stico, Zen 7,400, so he got a price bump. You're going to have to take stands on the FPX players you like. I'm not playing Emmy. Great IGL. Well, he's showing he's a great IGL. I have no interest from a DFS purpose on Emmy.
I would play Emmy. I'm not no, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just saying that I would definitely play him.
Then, by all means, I mean, like, do it. Right? Like, for me, Emmy is just in a territory for me where, unless we can pull up his stats, DK points over the last, 5 games, respectable. 47, 58, 45, 42. In this last game versus Complexity, he was 58.
Good enough for me.
I mean, respectable numbers. Is that going to win me the 10,000? I don't know.
Nope, but it'll win a single entry.
And I mean, like, right, like that's fair. Like again, folks, like I like large field. I primarily play in large field GPPs. Dan plays in single entry, so our strategies are gonna differ.
Yeah,
Right. So like
you should always say that.
Dan can take the safety of like a 50-point performance from Emmy at 5,800 to maybe unlock a Farley or unlock a Madden or unlock a Cadian. Right, like to get to some of these higher priced guys and still get that FPX exposure. To maybe go along with like a Stico or whoever. I'm looking at who's getting there on a ceiling. Who do I think is breaking the slate? Who can get there to get there? Right? Like if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
it's a little more complex what you're trying to do.
right. It's like I'm trying to take I'm trying to win $10,000.
Hmm.
Who's breaking the slate to get there? For me it's probably not Emmy. But if it gets me multiple elite players, maybe that's a strategy to employ in an MME format. Right? Like so if you want to play Sprout and take the upset according to Pinnacle, you know, FPX are a minus 230 favorite. They're the second heaviest favorite on the slate. Sprout a plus 180, 85 underdog. And while I'm here, the Ninjas in Pajamas are a minus 158 favorite against Big, who are a plus 130 underdog, and Complexity a minus 228 favorite against Anonimo, who are plus 184 underdog. Right? So, like, I have no problem taking shots on Sprout. I don't think this is a slate where you have to go multiple underdogs. I don't. Like, if I'm taking chances on underdogs, it's Astralis and Sprout. Maybe Big. Excuse me. Anything else you like about this game? Captain Stiko,
Um,
look, you've sold me. All right, like,
good.
I may want to captain him. Like, that's a great call. So, all right, so
It's a good
let's
price.
yeah, all right, let's move on here. Ninjas in Pajamas versus Big. Device is 8,800. That kind of says everything we need to say. Oh, and I
Um,
guess we should also address, in case people don't know, Dan, it did come out the last time that the Ninjas played. Hampus is back to being the IGL.
yeah, I mean, we kind of think that might happen.
I mean, ZTR was the IGL as far as we knew until that news came out. So, I mean, that is it is what it is there. So Hampus back to IGLing, but the interesting thing is that Device was taking and making some secondary calls himself. Again, being the veteran he is, the elite player that he is, he was apparently making some secondary calls. So Dan, I mean, we play the Ninjas here, right? Or are you taking a shot on Big?
Sorry, there was just some background noise.
No, you're fine.
Uh, yeah, I gotta stick with my boys. I think this might be a favorite day. I just don't feel too confident about any of these
All
dogs.
all four favorites should win. Heroic, FPX, Nip, and Complexity should win. They should win pretty handily, except for the Heroic matchup, which should be a back and forth affair. FPX Sprout should be a back and forth affair. The Ninjas should beat Big in a closer contest. The Complexity should crush Anonimo. Like, if you're playing it through that perspective, great. Like, I don't want to touch Big here. MMEs, sure, you get exposure to Searson, Xantares, Tabsit, and Keto, not touching Tizian. And you move on from there. But, like, for me, I'm sticking with the Ninjas. Device 1, Plopsky 2, Rez 3, Hampus 4, ZTR 5.
The firepower is too great on the ninjas.
Right, like, this isn't a Team Vitality incorporating a Kyojin. This isn't a
Yeah.
Fnatic incorporating Chikino. This is the Ninjas incorporating Device. The third best player in the world. Or fourth, however you want to put him and Nico. This should be pretty straightforward. The
I like
Ninjas
Hampus.
should beat Big. I don't mind Hampus either. I think it's a Plopsky ceiling day, but he's very risky.
Dude, so I don't know if you noticed, but there's been a nice connection between Device and Rez.
I mean, I can see
Certainly.
that. So I Rez is 3 for me. I'm just taking the ceiling of a Plopsky at 2, but I'm sticking with Device. Quite frankly, I might go 2-2-1-1 and take 2 from Heroic Astralis, 2 from Sprout FPX, 1 from Ninjas in Pajamas and Big, and 1 from Complexity Anonimo. That might be a viable strategy.
I like it because then you could probably avoid the complexity mess a little bit.
Well, that's not a mess. Is there anything else you want to talk about here? Like, are you taking any shots in Big in a single entry?
No, no.
So you think Nip win and just avoid Big?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I think that's a pretty fair take. Like I said, if you're MMEing in a large field GPP, yeah, you get some shots at everyone but Tizian on Big.
You hate Tizian. Why do you hate?
Get back to me when Tizian can break a slate. Sorry. I know he probably has a couple of times before, but like more often than not, he's not breaking a slate. He's
No.
$6,000. Keto's 5,200. I'll take Keto 5,200.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Um,
I'm just giving you a hard time.
no, that's fine. And Zentaris at $7,400 is very interesting. Tabson at 7,000 and Searson's 8,200. So I don't
Doesn't
mind it,
matter.
but I think the Ninjas roll here.
Yeah, firepower is just too much.
Last game shouldn't take us more than 2 minutes, folks. Complexity versus Anonymous. No
Avoid.
offense, no offense, Anonymous, but as much as I thought Blame F it's a trap, it's Blame F day.
That's interesting.
It's Blame F day for me. What are you doing with this game?
Avoiding it. I mean, I can get plenty of other pieces.
Tell us more about that.
Well, my hope would be that Anonymous wins, and in complexity is heavily owned, but I don't think that's going to happen.
If Anonymous beat Complexity, then Anonymous we're gonna win someone at $10,000.
Yeah,
Possibly.
it's kind of a deja vu from today, a little bit with Sprout and Anonymous, where I flipped for Sprout too. Remember, I did a coin flip, and I got Sprout, but then I doubled back.
You
I was
literally
like, no,
flipped
I
the
can't do
coin. So you're sticking with Complexity and Anonymous?
it. I liked your idea of one from.
Yeah, like this is a game where Complexity roll Anonymous, which they should, especially after getting rolled by FPX. You would have to think the fires underneath their rear ends to do something about it. And like I said, this is for points. Like if we go back to Flashpoint 3, this is a lower final. Like they're between 9th and 12th, right? Like 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So they're fighting for 11th and 12th place, I think, which is going to get them either 600 RMR points or 500. Complexity is going to get every RMR point that they can get.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that they'll be motivated. Win. So.
Yep. So I think
Anonymous seems kind of flat after today, but I mean, it's not like they got crushed by Sprout. I mean,
K Kyler and that's it. You could take a shot on Snacks if you want at 5,600. Kyler 4,800 is too cheap.
I like that.
Kai is 6,800. Is the main fragger for Anonymous. It's like it's tough to talk about this team.
Dude, Kyler, that's it. How much is Kyler? I can't see it.
$4,800.
Oh, dude, that's a lock. That's a lock for me.
All right, so
the boy's pretty good.
All right, folks, we know Dan's value play for the slate. All right, Dan. So let's actually get into it. It's getting a little late here in the podcast. We want to get these folks home, or wherever you all are. You know, y'all are home. Wherever y'all are at, we want to get them off to get them building their lineups. Core value GPP team stack segment. Dan, what do you got for us?
Core, I'm gonna go with Farley or Farley.
All right. Would you like me to restart this over, Dan? Core value GPP favorite team stack segment. Please don't say anything ridiculous. Go for it.
Farley? You think that's ridiculous?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Right,
Core Farley at 9,400 is it's a ballsy call. I like it.
Thank you. I just got a good feeling. I watched today and I liked what I saw.
Excellent. All right, value. I think we know what it is.
Yep, it's Skyler. And GPP, I'm gonna go with one of the big guys. Tabson or Xantares.
I don't mind that. Do you have a favorite team stack?
Yeah, I gotta go with heroic just because of
he got half a heroic out, folks. Half a heroic.
Well, I was about to go with FPX, and then I halfway through, I'm like, oh no, I gotta go with heroic. So definitely heroic. I mean, I could see doing 3 heroic, and then 3, 2, 1.
All right. So heroic it is. All right, my core play on the slate. I think I've kind of said it. It's gonna be Tessus. Value play for me. Zipix $5,400. I don't mind taking a shot on Cressy either at 5,600. Let's see. GPP play for me on the slate is Blame F. I just think it's a Blame F day. I think he's the one for complexity I want. Like I said, complexity, in case I kind of didn't say it to make it clear enough, everyone but Rush is in play for me in complexity. I'm fading Anonymous unless you're just playing Kai as a one-off. And you're not playing anyone from complexity. I think it's a Blame F day. And favorite team stack for me, I like heroic. I like FPX. So I'm going to go with FPX. But like I said, I think there's a real chance Sprout can beat FPX. But FPX, a team stack I like on the slate. Alrighty, folks, let's get into it. Prize picks. Just load it up.
Do it.
Dan, we don't have any of the Flashpoint stuff up yet. We do know that Flashpoint, that Prize Picks rather, has been putting some of the tier 1 stuff up later on, but like this is what we got right now. Get some good picks. Give us two.
Crucial.
Yeah, that stuck out to me too. Crucial over.
I mean, yeah, that seems wrong.
Yep. So Dan and I both of our picks. One of them is going to be Crucial over.
And
Give
then
us another.
who are the Flames playing? Lyngby Vikings? Are you serious?
Yeah. No. Dafu's on the Lindby Vikings. Copenhagen
Oh,
Flames
okay.
are playing in Tropic. GG's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I won't go near that one then. Wait,
I'm.
So, I'm looking at this
Someone
for the
sticks
first
out
time.
here.
Slowly on the. Wait, who are they playing? Oh, they're playing.
Endpoint.
Yeah, dude, that's
Slowy
gonna
under.
be under. There's
He.
something's not right there. I
Um.
might I might lock 2 just for the triple up.
Who else on this slate? If you had to pick one other.
Forest
Forest over or under?
over.
I'd take the under.
Hmm.
I feel like we went over this a couple weeks ago. Forest just doesn't frag that high to start. And it's Skade who's been doing really, really well. So I take the under on Forest. But so that's who we like on Prize Picks, folks. You have any questions, reach out to us on Twitter. Like we said, we left our Twitter handles on earlier in the podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at AdamWX21. Dan on Twitter at Wandelch, WANDELCH. And you can follow the CSGO Clutch podcast on Twitter at CSGO Clutch Pod. Dan, any last minute thoughts before we get out of here? And I'm going to go play some Counter Strike after recording this podcast.
No, I'm good, man. Have a good night, everybody. Good luck.
Excellent. Good luck on this slate, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you all for the next main slate. Latest, peoples.